Hey guys, it's Shawnee, aka Total Makeup Junkie 101. So today I have a much anticipated review for you guys. This is on the Tarte Jewelry Box. I showed this in my Sephora Friends and Family sale haul. I will link the haul down there if you guys haven't seen it. I bought a bunch of sort of the bigger palettes that Sephora and the brands in Sephora came out with for the holidays. And I showed this particular palette and I got a lot of comments asking if I can do a review on it, so I am doing that for you guys today. Now before I get started, I just wanted to say if you guys are curious about the makeup I am wearing today, I actually filmed a tutorial on it already. I just filmed it, I just have to edit it and get it up for you guys. It'll be up sometime this week, so definitely be looking out for that. So anyways, let's get to the review. This is what the Tarte Jewelry Box looks like. For those of you guys who don't know what Tarte is, it is a brand that is sold at Sephora and I believe a couple of other places. They also have a website and I will link it down there. But anyways, all of Tarte's makeup is all natural makeup. It is made with no parabens, sulfates, all of those like bad ingredients in makeup. Tarte makeup is made without those things, and so that is awesome. The makeup is all natural. It's really high quality for not having a lot of the chemicals in it. So I have been a big fan of Tarte for a while. I have a lot of Tarte products. I have a lot of Tarte palettes, and I am a big fan of the brand. Now this particular palette, the Jewelry Box, is limited edition. It costs $52 at Sephora.com, and I will put an exact link to where you can get this palette down there. Now Tarte as a brand always comes out with these huge limited edition holiday palettes every year. I know a lot of YouTubers or just beauty addicts in general who always look forward to this huge Tarte palette because it's always such an amazing deal, and this one is no exception. So this front flap right here is magnetic. Now the magnet on this is not very strong at all, so you do have to be careful with this palette. I don't think this palette is very travel friendly. I wish it was, but it's just not. I honestly would not take it around traveling. Now when you open up the palette, you do get a big mirror, but I'm just kind of gonna hide that a little bit. And this is what the front looks like. Now as you can see, you are getting 16 eyeshadows up here at the top. These are 16 full-size Tarte eyeshadows. These are all shimmery shades. And I mean, hello, 16 full-sized eyeshadows is amazing. Then you flip these two little wings out, I guess, and you get 16 more eyeshadows. Now these eyeshadows down here are matte. So that is really cool that they give you 16 shimmery shadows and 16 matte eyeshadows, so you can mix the textures of eyeshadows to create a whole eye look. Another thing I love about this palette is the color selection. I love how they give you a range of shades. They're not all neutral, but they're not all, you know, blue. They're not all purple. You have everything. You have blue, you have purple, you have cranberry, you have green, you have neutrals, you have grays, you have coppers. You have a little bit of everything. Now, in all honesty, these 32 eyeshadows are my very favorite part of this palette as a whole. I think the eyeshadows are very good. One thing that I do have to say about the eyeshadows, however, is they are very, very soft, so they will give you a little bit of fallout, and they are also very, very blendable to the point that they might be a little bit too blendable. And when I say that, I mean like if you apply, say, this gorgeous teal green shade, if you apply it to your lid and you start blending the edges, the color is almost just kind of gonna fade and almost go away. Not completely go away as in completely vanish, but it almost does kind of go away. And I have noticed that quality in a lot of these eyeshadows. Not all of them are like that, but a lot of them are. That doesn't mean that the eyeshadows are not pigmented, because these eyeshadows are very, very, very high pigmented. Also, I have noticed that the matte and shimmer eyeshadows don't really have a texture difference in the fact that they're both very smooth, soft, and silky. And that is something that I really applaud Tarte for, because normally matte shadows tend to be not as pigmented. They tend to not really be very smooth, not very soft, not very blendable. But these matte shadows are very, very, very good. But I think they're a little maybe too good and a little too blendable, if that makes any sense. So here are just swatches of 4 random colors. These 2 right here are shimmery, and the top 2 right here are matte. You can see they're all very, very pigmented. Now, another thing I have noticed with these shadows is they're a little bit flaky in the sense that when you swirl your finger around in the pan, or if you stick your brush in it, there will be a lot of excess powder fallout. So overall, I would have to give the eyeshadows a 4 out of 5 stars, which is really good. The only bad things are that they're a little too blendable and they're a little powdery, but other than that, they're very pigmented, they're very smooth, very soft, very, very good quality. Now, the rest of this palette pops out when you pull this tab right here. I'm actually going to sort of dislocate this little tray from the rest of the palette so I don't break it. Okay, so here's just a look at the second part of the tray. This pops out of the bottom like I showed you. So what you're getting in here you are getting a bronzer, you're getting a highlighter, and then you are getting 8 different lip colors on this side. Now, this bronzer and this highlighter you're getting are actually full size. This is a full size Park Avenue Princess bronzer, and this is a full size soft pink highlighter or face illuminator. Now, in all honesty, the Park Avenue Princess bronzer is a little too light for my skin tone, so I don't tend to use it all that much. It's almost the same shade as my skin, so it doesn't act as a bronzer for me. It might act as like an all-over powder on my skin, but I just tend not to reach for this too often because it's just not really in my coloring. However, this highlight is actually very, very nice. I reach for this a lot. It's really pretty. It does have a good amount of shimmer slash kind of glitter in it. The glitter is not overly chunky. It's not gritty. It doesn't show up like a disco ball on your skin. Now, in all honesty, I don't know why they named this shade soft pink, because when it comes on sort of like a goldy off-white cream color, so soft pink doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. But here are those 2 products swatched. This is the Park Avenue Princess bronzer, and this is the soft pink highlight. Let me just sort of swatch on the back of my hand so you can see that a little better. The bronzer is very, very smooth, very, very silky, but you can see that it doesn't even show up a whole lot on my skin. It's right here in this area, but you can't even really see it because it's almost the same shade as my skin. The bronzer is not very shimmery. It's sort of like it's got a sheen to it. It's sort of like a satiny finish. And then the highlight, it's a little bit more powdery than the bronzer. It's not quite as silky, not quite as smooth, but it's still really nice. It blends in very well, and this one also sort of has a sheen to it. It's a little bit less sheeny. It's a little bit less sheeny than the bronzer. The bronzer has a little bit more of a satin sheen to it. The highlighter seems to have a little bit just more shimmer thrown in, if that makes any sense. Overall, I would give the bronzer, 4 stars out of 5. The bronzer is very, very good, but if you were my complexion or darker, you're just not going to use it. But if you are lighter complexion, I think this is a very, very, very good bronzer. Very high quality, and I do like it. I just don't use it. And then the highlight, I would give probably a 3.5 stars out of 5. I do like the highlight. It's not my favorite highlight in the world. I'm not going to use it all the time. But if I have this palette popped out with my shadows and I'm using the shadows in this palette, I will reach for this highlighter. But it's just not, I'm not going to, specifically take this palette out only to use this highlight. Now for the lip colors, you guys can see that the lip colors are pretty much untouched. In all honesty, I don't use lip colors in palettes. I will swatch some of them for you guys, but I honestly don't really know the quality of these yet. Now you can see that I just swatched them, and this is pretty much my first impression video, and all I have to say is OMG. OMG. For lip colors and palettes, these are pretty dang good. Look at these. Oh my gosh. That's all I have to say. OMG. So these, guys, these show up pretty much true to color in the pan. I don't even know what to say. I'm kind of in shock right now. That was kind of a first impressions right there because you saw before I hadn't even touched these colors. And now I'm just like, why hadn't I touched these colors before? OMG. OMG. Okay. So this is the sort of bright bubblegum pink. This is like a dark fuchsia color. This is sort of like a dark red. This is a little bit on the sheer side, but it still shows up very well. And this is a neutral mauve-y brownish color. When I stuck my finger in these and I swirled it around, the product pretty much melted right onto my finger. It was very smooth, very creamy. Super duper pigmented. Guys, what you see in the pan is what you're getting on your hand. That is amazing. Overall, I would probably actually honestly give these a 3.5, maybe 4 stars out of 5. It's just the fact that it's in a palette that it's really killing me, but everything else is perfect. Now, no, I haven't tried them on my lips, so I mean, this is kind of a first impression, 5-star kind of rating here, but these are really, really good. And now for the last layer of the palette. These are the 5 eyeliners that you get in this palette. These are mini-sized eyeliners. So as for the eyeliners you get, these don't have names on them, but this one is sort of like a darkened charcoal gray with like silver shimmer in it. This one is like a really pretty golden olive green. You get sort of like this bronzy copper shade. You get this really pretty dark violet purple. And you get this dark black. Now here are all of those swatched going from this side to this side in the order that I mentioned them. These are actually very, very good eyeliners. I'm actually pleasantly surprised. I don't normally wear these on my waterline because they're soft, but I don't think they're so soft that they are appropriate for the waterline. I guess you could try them on the waterline, but I personally haven't. But these are really good liners to apply on your upper lash line or your lower lash line. They glide on very, very smoothly. They're very, very creamy. I actually really do like the consistency of these liners. They just like melt with the warmth of your skin and they're really nice. Now another thing you need to know about these liners is they do not set. So that is something that might affect your kind of opinion on them. These are not long wearing liners. They don't actually set into your skin. So after you apply them, if you just do that, they smudge. You can see that they are smudged all over my finger, all over my hand. These do smudge. So what I would do is apply it on my upper or lower lash line and then set it with a powdered eyeshadow. That way they won't smudge all around your eye. But overall, I think these liners are really nice. They're nice little minis, so you can try a bunch of different shades and sort of make your own opinion on what you think of these liners. So if you really do like them, you can just go out and get a full size after trying all of these colors. I would probably give them about a 3.5 star out of 5 stars, simply because you're not getting very much product. Though these will last you a good while, the pencil itself is pretty small. And also you're not getting a huge range of colors. They do give you a nice range, but not a huge range. And also the fact that these liners don't set. I wish that they would set into your skin and not budge, because then these might become one of my holy grail liners. You never know. So that is my review on this Tarte Jewelry Box Palette. One other thing I do have to say about this palette is that it actually comes with a detachable necklace. The necklace you see up here at the top, you can actually detach from the palette and it just unhooks through these little hooks here on the side, and you can actually wear it, which I think is cool. It's sort of like a 2-in-1 product. You get a necklace and all of this makeup all in one, so it's really nice. So overall, would I recommend this palette? Absolutely. I think this palette is a great, great, great deal for the price. You're spending $52, but you are getting so much product, such high quality product, and I'm really, really, really kind of in love with this palette. I'm going to have to play around with those lip colors some more because I just didn't know that they were so good. So yeah, I'm very, very pleasantly surprised in everything. I'm not disappointed with anything in this palette other than maybe the bronzer. I wish they would have chosen a slightly more universally flattering shade, but other than that, I mean, the eyeshadows are good, the liners are good, the lip glosses actually turned out to be very good, the highlight is good, and the bronzer is good. I just wish this palette would have included a blush, because if this palette had a blush, it'd be the perfect palette, but you know, you win some, you lose some. This is still a very good deal and still a really good palette. So I hope you guys enjoy this review. I hope you guys check out this palette. And if you guys have any further questions that I didn't answer, please feel free to ask. And that is everything. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.